these two popular air fryers to the test. Oh, you guys can't hear me. I'm sorry. Okay. Hey guys, let's try that again. Hey guys, I'm Chef Z and welcome back to my channel, Chef Z Cooks. Today we are back with another super exciting live stream and we are actually going to be having a good old air fryer battle where we are going to be putting these two popular air fryers to the test. So here we have the Ninja Foodi and we have here the Power XL. Now, before we get started, I do want to give people just a minute or two to join us. As you guys know, it's 6 p.m. So I'm sure some of you either just got home from work are leaving work. So I just want to give everyone a chance just to get a little bit settled. And while we're here waiting for people to join us, make sure that you comment and let me know where everyone is from. I love starting these live streams knowing where everyone is from. And as I say that, I'm looking over my monitor here and I realize I can't even see the messages. So just give me a second while there we go. Thank you, Ashley M. You said you loved my recipes. Thank you so much. That definitely means the world to me. And again, I'm just trying to manage everything and do a better job this time at looking at some of the comments. Now, you guys know that I actually went live last week where we made some shrimp and salsa. So thank you for joining me then, and thank you for joining me today. And for those of you guys who are new here on the channel, I'm Chef Z and I cook up a ton of deliciousness. And I know I asked you guys to comment where you're from. Just so you know, I'm from New York City and that's where I'm based out of. So cheers to all my local New Yorkers. And like I said, I love seeing where everyone is from. Ooh, okay, I see a couple. I see D the Jesus. She's from the Bronx. Hello. I see some Miami, some Philly. What's up? What is going on? I'm curious to know if you guys are huge air fryer fans, just like I am. I feel like, I don't know, within like the last year or two, air fryers have really just blown up in popularity, and it's no secret that I am 100%
an air fryer fan. But full disclosure, I was a little skeptical in the beginning, and I have grown to be a huge fan. We have Jennifer Roman, Jen from Brooklyn. What's up? I see you. We have Crystal from Rhode Island. Hello. We have Ashley who says that she always makes my recipes for her family. Thank you so much. That means the world to me. We have Rochester. Hello. I actually went to college in Syracuse, not too far from Rochester. So I 100% understand your winners, and I actually love upstate New York. So shout out to Tina. We have D, who's a new air fryer user. Listen, I hope that by the time that we're done, you are going to feel like a much more confident and a much more experienced air fryer user, because I'm gonna let you know the nitty gritty about using an air fryer, because over the last 2 or so years, I have fully immersed myself in using air fryers and testing them. I've broken a few, believe it or not, and I've developed a ton of recipes specifically for air fryers. And again, we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. Okay, so we have Chanel. Chanel says she has one, but you've never used it. Oh my God, that almost hurts my heart, because seriously, the air fryer has been a game changer in my kitchen, specifically for days when I'm rushing, when I'm feeling lazy, and not even that, but fried food is a legit weakness of mine. So I feel a little less guilty enjoying some of my frituras and some of my fried food in the air fryer. All right, guys, I would say it's been about 5 or so minutes. So I hope that everyone has joined us. Thank you again for joining us and taking the time. We're just hanging out. Before we get started, I want to address the elephant in the room. Number one, if you follow me on Instagram, which by the way you should, then you probably know that I have fractured my toe. Yes, silly me, fractured my toe on my right foot. So, you know, I'm going to be having a hot girl summer with a big old sexy boot and some crutches. So if you see me just like wobbling around my kitchen, just know that it's because I have an injured foot, but that's not going to stop me from making delicious recipes and yummy videos for you guys. So I just, wanted to address that. And thank you for all the sweet messages that I've been getting on my Instagram and all the well wishes and get well soons. Thank you. Trust me, we're working on them. All right. So now that we got that settled, let's jump right into what we're here to do today. So today we are going to be having an air fryer battle. I wish I had like the funk flex like horns, like bah, 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 bah. So pretty much what we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting these two popular air fryers to the test. Now, if you guys follow me here on my YouTube channel, you guys know that I always use my Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air fryer. And this is hands down definitely one of the more popular air fryers on the market. However, I also noticed that this guy right here, which is the Power XL, is also super popular. It's one that a lot of people use, and even when I go to friends and family homes, I constantly see this on their counter. So anytime I recipe test any of my new air fryer recipes, I make sure to test them with several devices just so I make sure that the settings will work on a couple of different air fryers. Now, like I said, not all air fryers are created equally, but you'd be surprised just how similar a lot of them can be, and we're going to really get into all of it. And to test these air fryers, we're actually going to be making one of my all-time favorite recipes to make in the air fryer, which is some Dominican style fried chicken. Now listen, I have a fully dedicated video here on my channel on how to make air fryer Dominican style chicken. And not only that, I have linked that down below, and I also have the recipe on my website as well. So if you want to just take a moment and head on over to my website and check it out so that you can follow along, you are more than welcome to. And like I said, I have a standalone video on how to make that recipe, simply because today's video is really about which air fryer is the better one. So I'm curious to know, take a vote, comment, and let me know which one of these two air fryers you think is going to win today's battle. And also let me know what your favorite air fryer is, because I would love to try out some different ones. Now that we have that settled, let's jump into today's recipe. We're making some Dominican style fried chicken. I have the recipe listed down below, and I'm actually going to gather the chicken just so that we can start seasoning it and marinating it and getting into the recipe. So I'm just gonna move this off to the side. Here we go. Nice. Look at that. This chicken looks amazing. How we looking, babe? We looking good there? I have my husband here, who, by the way, should win the Husband of the Year award. He's been helping me with my injury since I can't drive. I can't go anywhere. And I swear I'm driving him crazy, but he hasn't left me yet. So, all right. So I'm just grabbing the rest of the ingredients. I'm going to look at these comments real quick. Late but made it. Listen, we're so happy to have you here. We have Celeste, who thinks that the Ninja's probably going to win. I wonder which one that's going to be. Okay. So for today's recipe, we're going to need some simple ingredients, and we're actually going to be making our very own homemade adobo to season the chicken. And I also have a recipe here on my channel where I show you step by step how to make your own adobo at home. But just know that when it comes to this recipe, you can also use your favorite seasoning that you like, whether that's adobo, sopita, or even some Larry's. You guys know, whatever you guys like. This is how I like to make my Dominican style fried chicken, because I feel that it truly gives it some awesome flavor. Now, before we even start seasoning the chicken, I will say the recipe calls for a brine, and literally all that is going to be some water mixed with some vinegar and bonus, you can even add a little bit of lime, and that's also going to be a great way to help you also clean the chicken. And I know that there's a lot of chitter chatter out there on the internet as to whether you should or you shouldn't clean your meat. Now, I have been taught that you don't have to clean your meat. However, I'm Hispanic, and growing up, we cleaned our meat, so I definitely still clean my meat because for me, it's just culturally relevant. If you are one of those people like me who cleans your meat either using some lime, some vinegar, or water, which when I clean my meat, I also make sure to double it as a brine. I just highly, highly, highly urge you, I cannot stress that enough, to clean your sink and disinfect it each and every single time, because cleaning your meat in the sink, obviously you run the risk of cross-contamination, and we don't want anybody to get sick. So if you clean your chicken or any meat for that matter, you also want to make sure to disinfect your sink after you do so. And what the brine is going to do as far as this recipe is that it's going to help the chicken be super nice and juicy, and you definitely want that whenever you use an air fryer. Because of the way that the air fryer heats up food, you do run the risk of drying out some food. And brining your meat whenever you're going to fry it also works, especially when you're also going to deep fry it. I just want to look at the comments real quick. Ashley, you didn't know you can make this in the air fryer? You 100% can. Ashley also says that she has the consori, but you count how many times you can use it. Well, I hope that after you watch today's video that I will turn you into a believer. Okay, so let's just jump right into the recipe. So in order to make this chicken, you're going to need some diced chicken thighs, or you can use some chicken breasts, or you can use a mix of both. We're also going to need some ground coriander, which is going to give this some awesome flavor, but this is also optional. We're going to need some ground garlic, some ground onions, some cumin, which is totally optional. And just remember that a little bit goes a long, long way. And we're also going to need some Dominican oregano, which is going to give it that classic Dominican flavor. And we're going to need just one lime, some salt, some pepper, and a little bit of olive oil. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to start seasoning the chicken. So I'm going to add the ground coriander. And again, this is literally the same recipe that I use whenever I'm making my own at-home adobo. I'm going to add the garlic powder, some onion powder, some cumin, again, tiny bit, goes a long way. You don't need much to make a big impact. Some Dominican oregano, which honestly, this is the ingredient that really brings it home. And if you can't find Dominican oregano at your local grocery store, I do have some linked in my Amazon store, so I'll make sure to link it down below for those of you guys who are interested. I'm also going to add some fresh lime. Ooh, this one's juicy today. I love it when that happens. Love it, love it, love it. Love it. Oh yeah, look, I want all the juice today. I don't want to leave anything behind. I'm gonna do the other half. Oh yeah. Here. Now here's the thing about making food in the air fryer. You could use fresh garlic, and a lot of the times, you guys know, when I have the option of using fresh onions or fresh garlic, I always opt for fresh. But because the air fryer can dry some ingredients out, you always want to opt for using the ground version instead. And speaking of which, you also want to use some olive oil, because a little bit of olive oil is going to go a long way. I almost forgot a key ingredient. Ladies and gentlemen, we were about to have bland chicken, because if you can believe it or not, I was about to forget to add the kosher salt. Now I'm going to add 2 teaspoons. Now I know that one of my pinches is roughly half a teaspoon, so that's how I know to add 4 of these. But I always recommend that if you use kosher salt, and if you have kosher salt because you've made a ton of my recipes, then I recommend getting a feel for how large one of your pinches, because one of my pinches and one of your pinches could be 2 very different things. So it's always great to know more or less like how much salt you're depositing, because number one, it just helps you gain confidence in the kitchen, and number two, it just also helps you control just how much salt you're putting into your food. We're also going to add some black pepper. And now we're going to mix everything until it's well combined. Oh my goodness, so nice. Now it's super important that whenever you are air frying any kind of meat, that you add a little bit of moisture to it, a little bit of oil. At the end of the day, we are not deep frying this, so that little bit of oil is better than deep frying it for sure. I can tell that the chicken looks a little dry, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more oil, because this is going to help it crisp up super, super nicely in the air fryer. Oh, it smells amazing. Nice. I seriously love this dish. As a matter of fact, if there's anything that I cook mostly in my air fryer, it's definitely this chicken. And believe it or not, I make Brussels sprouts quite a bit in the air fryer. Now, I don't have a video on how to make my air fryer Brussels sprouts, but if that's something that you guys are interested in, I will 100% make that video for you guys. And for those of you guys who are joining us a little bit late, we're having an air fryer battle where we are putting our Ninja Foodi up against the Power XL, because these are two very, very popular air fryers. And to test them, we're going to be making some Dominican style fried chicken, which I've gone ahead and I've seasoned with some onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of cumin, some Dominican oregano, and the full recipe is listed down below, and I also have a video here on my channel on how to do that. Now, I have shared a few tips and tricks on how to make sure to season everything right, because you can definitely develop your own recipes and make some of these on the fly. Now, before we move on to the next step, I just want to see what you guys are chit-chatting about here in the comment section. Oh, somebody says that they want to know how to make locrio de maíz. I love locrio de maíz, but that's not something that I can really do in the air fryer, but I'm sure I can probably do it in the pressure cooker, because I actually have a video here on my channel on how to make an Instapot moro de guandule, which is surprisingly really, really good. Yeah, you could definitely, like, so when it comes to the locrio de maíz, you can actually make it in the Ninja Foodi as well, because the Ninja Foodi is not only just an air fryer, but it's also a pressure cooker. And you know what, that's actually like the perfect segue, because what we're gonna do next is I'm just gonna clean up my station just a little bit, and then we're gonna move to talking about the two popular air fryers that we have right here, and then we're gonna start to air fry this chicken. So just give me a second. I just wanna move everything out the way. All right. How we looking there, babe? Are we in frame? Can the people see it? Okay. So here we have two of the more popular air fryers on the market. And do you need me to move it back? So here we have the two more popular air fryers on the market, at least that I have noticed that are super popular. So we have the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air fryer, and this thing does more than air fry. You can definitely pressure cook, you can dehydrate, you can make yogurt. My version even has a sous vide function, and there's different sizes and different types that you can get, and I've actually linked it down below in case you guys are interested. Now, funny enough, this bad boy is actually on sale right now at Target, and I believe that you can actually buy this for about $100. However, it is usually $170. And this is the pressure cooker and air fryer that you guys actually see me feature all the time on my channel in my videos whenever I am air frying. Now, full disclosure, this is not, I repeat, this is not a sponsored video, and all the thoughts and opinions are mine and the ones that I've developed over the years as I use them. Now, I also use the other air fryer that I'm going to be featuring and I'll talk about in a second. But the reason why I feature my Ninja Foodi in most of my videos is simply because it's just a little bit easier to actually film in it. And at the end of today's live stream, I'm gonna just list out all the pros and cons of each one as they duke it out. Now, for the second air fryer that we're going to be featuring today and testing out and putting up against the Ninja Foodi is actually the Power XL. Now, funny enough, this Power XL is forever sold out at Target, and you can actually find it on sale. It's on sale just like the Ninja Foodi. Now, this bad boy is normally retails for about $150, but it's actually on sale for $70. So if you are in the market for an air fryer, both of these are on sale. And like I mentioned, I actually see the Power XL on the internet and at people's homes quite a bit. So I knew that I needed to own one because I'm developing recipes for you guys. And if you guys have this guy at home, then I also have to acquaint myself with this one. Now, again, we're going to get into the pros and cons of each of these towards the end because I don't want to give it all away. I do have plenty of thoughts when it comes to both of them. Spoiler alert, neither one of them is perfect, but they both do get the job done. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and let's just actually warm these guys up, because one of my tips to making sure that you get perfectly air fried food is to actually let it warm up for at least 2 minutes. And if you read the instructions, they actually tell you it doesn't need to warm up. But I find that when you add meat to a device that is warming up and is cool, it can actually cause the meat to sweat. And we don't want that. So my biggest tip and trick, regardless of whatever air fryer you have, give it a 2-minute head start so that it can actually start warming up. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm actually going to set the air fryer, and I will say both of these are gonna have the same setting. I'm gonna set each one of them to 390 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to set the timers to 22 minutes because the chicken should roughly take about 20 minutes unless one of them cooks the chicken faster or one of them cooks the chicken slower. So here we go. So first I'm going to set my Ninja Foodi. So I'm going to turn it on. I'm going to press, if I can see, we're going to go air crisp. We're going to have it to 390 degrees. And then I just want it to be 22 minutes. And now I'm going to press start. And that's just going to warm up for 2 minutes. So now I'm going to actually do the same thing to the Power XL. And just like we set this one to 390 degrees for 22 minutes, we're going to do the same thing to this one. So here we go. So I'm going to press start. I'm going to put the temperature up to 390, and then I'm going to put this up to 22 minutes. And so there we have it. Both of them are warming up, and when they get to roughly about 20 minutes, that's when we're going to be adding the chicken. Now listen, this is a fun experiment. This is a fun exercise. This is not like exact science. So, you know, allow me a couple of degrees of variance, if you will. I don't expect I'm going to add the chicken exactly at 20 minutes on both of them because I'm one person managing 2 machines. But overall, we're going to get the idea as to which air fryer we enjoy more. So let's see what you guys are talking about. Oh yeah, so, oh nice. So BK says that sorry, I don't know. You're he or she. So they said that they have an air fryer that a Ninja Foodi, I'm assuming, that says that for the perfectness, you want it to preheat for 5 minutes. And that's actually super dope that they're including that now, because I've had mine for a couple of years, and I believe mine says that you don't have to preheat it, but over time, I've like just realized that it's best to let it preheat even if it's for a couple of minutes. Kyla says, it's the camera angles for me. Well, thank you, darling. That's my lovely husband taking care of the angles. You hear that, babe? They liking the angles. Yes. I have some water here. Now, if you're joining us here a little bit late, I mentioned earlier that on my Instagram, I let it be known that yours truly has fractured her toe. So wobbling around the kitchen a little bit, I'm just making sure to remain hydrated per my doctor's instruction. And my husband, like, he was almost like this close to having me do today's live stream in like sitting down. I was like, babe, we can't have that, okay? Like, I'm cooking, it's fine. It's only gonna take an hour, and that's the beauty about cooking with an air fryer, is that things get done pretty quickly. So I'm just gonna see where we are time-wise. Oh, over here, look at me, talking. I didn't even realize that I missed my moment to put the chicken in. All right, so let me just get everything set up. Oh no. We're back up. Are we back? Okay, we lost some power, which I don't even, can we turn this one back on? Because I think it was this guy.
Because I think they're both on.
Yeah, they're both on. Okay. Guys, give me like 2 seconds just to like reset everything, because I should probably disclose that one of the cons of this machine that I'm going to be sharing later on is that it's super powerful and therefore it uses more electricity. And as you guys saw, my power went out because that's how powerful this thing is. So just give me like 2 seconds while I figure out another power source for this thing. People who are late, but thank you so much for joining us. Someone says happy Thursday. Yes, happy Thursday. Okay, I'm back. Okay, you guys can see me. Celeste says, I despise power outages. I do too, but I will be completely honest. I actually have them both hooked up to the same power line, so that could have been part of it. This is actually the first time that that's ever happened to me. I use my Ninja Foodi quite a bit, and this is honestly the first time where I've had a power outage. It's never done that before. Let's see. Grand afternoon. Thank you. Thank you. Again, guys, I'm super sorry. We're just like trying to do this all live while it's happening. Hold on. I'm just going to stop this just so that we reset everything. Here we go. Okay, are we back? We have David, hi from Miami. Hello from New York. Thank you guys for joining us. Okay, so for those of you guys who just joined us, we are having a good old air fryer battle where I'm putting two of the popular air fryers to the test. We had a couple of technical difficulties where I had, silly me, have both of the air fryers hooked to the same power outlet. And so one of them, the Ninja Foodi, actually blew it out just a little bit. However, I will say that that's the first time that that's ever happened to me. So it's funny that that happened live. So what I had done before was I was having them warm up. So I'm just going to reset everything just to level set it. So the setting that I'm going to be using is 390 degrees for 22 minutes because the chicken should roughly take about 20 minutes to cook. So if it's all good and dandy, we're gonna go ahead and reset everything. So I'm gonna turn this guy back on. Take this chicken out the way. All right, so here we go. We have air crisp, 390. We're gonna go 22 minutes. We're gonna get that going. And then we're gonna get this guy going, 390, 22 minutes. Okay, now, as, who said it here? As BK has said, yes, you should probably put your air fryers on different settings. I normally do. For the sake of this video, I just put them both in the same outlet and I didn't even think. And so one of the great things to do when you are using an air fryer is that you do want it to allow it to warm up for just a little bit. I typically let them warm up for about 2 minutes, but I know some of you guys in the comment section have said that it's also great to let them warm up for about 5 minutes. Somebody said that some mofongo would be helpful. Yes. I actually have a video here on my channel on how to make mofongo, although I've never tried making it in an air fryer, but I do have a video on how to make tostones in the air fryer. So I'm just, babe, how long do we have here for time-wise? I can't see it. We have 1 more minute. Okay, so I'm just letting this warm up for another one. So we have Mr. Enriquito. Hi, Senya from Queens. Hey, I'm also from Queens. What's going on? From Indonesia. Wow, you guys are from everywhere. So thank you guys again for joining us. And I told you guys it was going to be interesting and we were going to have fun. And so here it is. All right, so I think we can start adding the chicken to this. So I'm going to add the chicken to the Ninja Foodi. Now, whenever you are air frying food, you just want to make sure not to overcrowd the basket too much. So here we go. Nice. All right, so we've added chicken to that. So we're just gonna cover that. And when it's about halfway through, we're gonna go ahead and we're going to flip it. Now this guy, we're gonna add the chicken to the XL one. Hold on. I'm a righty, so putting chicken in with my left hand was not going to be ideal. Oh, and I made a mess. Nice. So same thing with this one. You just want to make sure that it is all spread out nice and evenly. And we're just going to place that in there. I'm actually going to wipe that off because I dropped some chicken. So it's super important that you wipe down all of your, yeah, there we go. All right, so we're gonna let those air fry for about 10 minutes and then we're going to flip them. And one of my biggest pieces of advice that I can give you whenever you are, just in general when you're cooking, I highly recommend that you actually keep two different color tongs. So this is a tong I'm using when the chicken is raw, and then this is a tong I'm going to be using once the chicken is more than halfway cooked because we don't want to cross-contaminate. And that's a really, really super dope piece of advice. And they're super cheap to buy. I actually bought these, I want to say, off of Amazon. No, I'm lying, Target. But Amazon has some different color tongs as well. So you can pretty much get them anywhere. I'm just going to have this. So one of the things that we are going to be pairing our chicken with, because it is essentially dinner time, and so this is going to be dinner for my husband and I, and we're going to have it with a side of regular fried tostones because my air fryers are obviously occupied, so I'm not going to be air frying my tostones. But if that's something that you want to see me cook here on a live stream, I will be more than happy to do that. Just going to see what you guys are Wow, somebody said Mississippi Southern corned beef is lit and fryer and super yummy. I have never had that, so I'm very curious to try it. We have Wanda from Connecticut. Thank you so much for joining us. Chicago, Inez, hello, hello, hello. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I'm also curious to know, which air fryer do you guys have in your own home that you definitely do like, because I would love to try out different air fryers. Now, the two that I use the most are the two that are battling it out today. I actually use my Ninja Foodi a lot more, especially when I'm filming, just because it's a little bit easier to film with than this Power XL. However, they both get the job done, and we're gonna see which one is gonna give us chicken that's a little bit crispier and a little bit juicier. We have somebody from the Bronx. Hello, hello. We have, oh, from the Netherlands. Wow, you are far. Hello, hello. So BK has asked, have I tried Tostones de Pana? I haven't. I honestly don't even know what that is, so I'm curious to try it out. All right, so while this is actually air frying, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move on over to my stove, and we're going to start making some tostones, and hopefully by the time that these are ready, our tostones will be ready as well, because honestly, the worst thing that can happen is some tostones that are cold. Like, obviously they're best when they're nice and warm. So I'm gonna head on over to the stove and I'll see you guys there. Oh, somebody said I have an Insignia burner. It was a gift. I've never tried the Insignia air fryer, but I know that they make a ton of electronics, so I'd be curious to try it out. Onto the stove. Babe, let me get a top-down view. Can they see me? Okay, so what I have here are some tostones that I went ahead and I've peeled, and I've actually have had them sitting in some water and some salt, and this is going to help the tostones be super nice and golden. I'm just patting them dry, because the last thing you want to do is add some wet tostones to a super hot oil, because listen, no one's trying to get burned today. We already had some technical difficulties. We don't need anything else going wrong today. So I'm just gonna continue patting them dry. Nice. Ooh, I'm so excited. All right, I'm gonna add the plátano into the oil. Beautiful. Now, one of the tips and tricks to helping you get tostones perfect each and every single time is not air frying them, is actually frying them over medium to medium low heat. You want to control just how hot you get the pan, because if you have it too hot, then you burn the outside of the plátano without actually cooking it on the inside. And I'm actually curious to know what your favorite side dish is to, like, whenever you're having some Dominican style fried chicken, what do you personally love to eat it with? I definitely love eating it with some tostones, a salad these days, because that's one of the reasons I like to air fry a ton of food, simply because it's just super easy to make a healthy-ish meal. Like I said before, I love fried food, and so air frying food just helps me have my guilty pleasure without deep frying everything, and then without like smoking up the house, because whenever you deep fry food, let's be honest, like, it makes your house like smell like a little bit. And one of the things that I hate is if you don't have a good ventilation system, or even me, like I live in an apartment currently, it's gonna smell like fried chicken for like 2-3 days. So it's super nice that you can have that like fried chicken feel by using an air fryer, and when you put it on a different circuit, it doesn't blow a fuse. So So what we're doing right now is I'm making some tostones, which are honestly just fried green plantains. I have a video here on my channel on how to air fry them, but they're kind of busy right now, so we're just gonna fry them the traditional way. I peeled them ahead of today's live stream, and I actually had them soaking in salty water, and that's gonna help them get super nice and golden, and it's gonna help them fry up beautifully. So I'm just gonna real quickly just go over here, and I'm going to flip them. Yeah, look at that. As you can see, they are beautifully golden. Oh yeah. Now, one of the things that I grew up watching my grandmother do is that she actually has a pot que está curada, and all that means it's a special pot for frying that's pretty much burnt to bits, but it fries food beautifully. All right, so I flipped those over. So I was saying before, it's like growing up, my grandmother, and like I'm curious to know if you guys have this same pot at home. I feel like it's in every Hispanic household, just like the big sancocho pot, or like the big pot that we use to make moro de guandule or any moro. It's the one that comes out for family parties and the holidays. Well, another traditional pot that we have is like a small little frying pan, but it is burnt. Super black, it's está curada, and it fries everything amazing. Now, I actually have one as well, but one of the things that I have actually discovered is that if you use a really high grade, non-toxic, non-stick frying pan, you can actually get the same effect and without having to cure the pot. And I will link down below the pots that I'm using and the ones that I have been really liking lately. I do have a video where I just discuss all my favorite pots and pans, but I will be making an updated version to that because there's a couple of other pots and pans that I've been using lately that I also really like. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna flip these again. As you can see, oh, they are frying up super nicely. Babe, I'm curious to know, how much time do the air fryers say? Nice. All right, so I'm actually going to take these out of the oil, and then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to flip our air fried chicken because I don't want those to burn. So I'm going to just take these out real quick, and I'm just going to tend to the chicken real quick. Oh yeah, so nice. Now, the other big debate that's always happening is like, you know, are you team tostones or are you team maduros? I don't know. For me, I kind of go back and forth between tostones and maduros, and it really comes down to what am I eating it with, because there are certain dishes that I hands down prefer to have maduros over tostones, and I'm curious if you guys are also the same. So we're now going to go back to the air fryer as I wobble along with my fractured toe. Okay, where's my other tongue? So the chicken should be more or less like halfway cooked. So I'm going to take the tongue that I use to manipulate raw chicken, and that's the one I'm going to use. And then this is going to be the last time that I use it because I don't want to cross-contaminate it. So here we have the Ninja Foodi. Oh, that's looking really nice. So I'm just going to give them a toss. Beautiful, that's coming along nicely. And as you can see, we did not overcrowd the basket. That's really important because you want to allow for equal airflow to go through that. And now we're going to do the Power Excel one. Now, one of the things I like about this one is that it's a basket, so I don't really need the tongs. As you can see, that chicken is coming along nicely. Look at that right there. That's already crisping up really nicely. I also didn't overcrowd this one too much, so that's really nice. And now I'm just gonna place that back in. Beautiful. And that's going to it's not, see, this is the thing with this. I got it there now. Okay, so one of the things to note when it comes to air fryer is that it does use like a convection style cooking. So it's taking hot air and it's like just speeding it through. And you can pretty much get the same effect if you have a convection oven. However, a convection oven tends to be a little bit bigger. So what ends up happening is that the splatter that you get in an air fryer is contained in this small vessel here. But when you use your convection oven to air fry, guess what? That mess is then contained in that larger vessel. And if your oven doesn't have a self-clean option, which some super powerful stoves tend not to have the self-clean option, it is a pain, and then you know what to actually clean them. Now, before I go back to frying the tostones, I just want to see what you guys are chit-chatting about. So Erica wants to know if I would do some outdoor grilling recipes, and the answer to that is absolutely. Give me a second. I just had to lower the flame on the oil because that's the last thing I need here. So yes, I would love to do some outdoor grilling recipes, and I actually have a couple of lined up. Full disclosure, I have super sensitive skin, and grilling recipes for me are actually very difficult because I literally break out in hives and open sores. And so whenever I do grilling recipes, I need my husband to actually do the grilling in the video. So I don't know if that's a little jarring to see me and then see like a man's hand actually grilling. But if you guys don't mind, I would totally love to have him with me in one of those grilling videos. So definitely give this video a huge thumbs up and comment down below because I would love to do that. And like I said, I have a couple of lined up that I'm thinking about doing some really fun, tasty recipes, especially with the 4th of July around the corner and Labor Day, and obviously it just being summer. Can I start a vlogging channel? I've thought about that. I'm super private, and so I always struggle with what aspect of my life to show and what aspect of my life not to show. And not only that, but there are other people in my life who are also super private. So I don't know if you guys would just get tired of like just seeing me 24/7, but I am experimenting with doing some vlogging content here on my channel as I document my home build, because you guys know I'm building my dream house, and so I'm going to be taking you guys along the ride with me. Erica says, you too, your fiance. Listen, grilling is tough, and when you have sensitive skin, the struggle is real. Breadfruit tostones, I have to try that because that sounds amazing. Oh, nice. Okay, so we're going to head on over back to the stove. We're going to smash our tostones. We're going to fry them up. And hopefully by the time that they're done, this chicken is done. And then we can round everything out, put the two to the test, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. So I'm going to head on over to the stove. We go wobble on over with my factory toe. All right, I'm just turning the heat down because hands down, my #1 tip to getting perfect tostones, and I don't even know if mine are going to come out perfect today, but you don't want the oil to get too hot, because what ends up happening is that you burn the outside of the tostones to a crisp, and then the inside doesn't really cook all the way, and I hate that. I really hate when tostones are burnt on the outside and like not cooked all the way through. So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to be using my tostonera, but you can use the bottom of a cup, which I do all the time. So I'm just gonna get everything set up. And I will link down below the tostonera that I'm using. Oh my goodness. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I hands down miss the days where tostones used to be, I mean, not even tostones, but plátanos used to be 10 for $1. These days you go to the store and it's like 3 for $2, and I swear it's like un robo, highway robbery, but it's honestly been like that for a couple of years now. So I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm just mashing them. They already look super nice. I think even though these were green, it feels like these were actually on their way to being yellow. I can tell by the texture of them. And I don't know about you guys, but I really, really can't stand when you get un plátano que te engaña, like a plátano that fools you. And that's what happened with me today. It's like the plátano was green, but I could tell even by just looking at it, and even honestly by smelling it, that it was on its way to becoming yellow. It's bad enough that we can no longer find plátanos 10 for $1, and then on top of that, they give you ones that are que están entre dos, that are half and half. All right. So now we're gonna just quickly fry them again. And these are gonna be done right away because this oil is super, super hot. So we're not gonna leave them in there too long. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice. All right, I'm gonna start taking these out. Just as quickly as I put them in, I'm gonna take them out. And as you can see, look at that beautiful color. Beautiful color. Now I do have a paper towel just because I want to catch some of that excess oil. But this is 100% optional. Nice. Now it's funny, for those of you guys who were at my last live stream, I got a couple of questions about how clean my stove is. Number one, thank you. I take that as a huge, huge compliment. And you guys were asking me, how do I keep it so clean? And I can definitely make a video and showing you guys how I clean my kitchen and how I clean the stove. My number one trick is honestly to clean it while it's actually warm and not letting the stove get too cold and just, you know, putting some degreaser on it. And I clean my stove every single night after I clean. But for example, today, we're hanging out, we're talking, and once this live stream is done, I'm gonna dig into some food because I'm hungry. And so my stove is actually gonna get a little bit cool. So what I do is I just turn the stove on, like on low for a little bit, and then I go in with the degreaser just because having it be warm, it loosens it up and it's just super, super easy to clean. All right, I'm gonna head on over back and hopefully our chicken should be done. Oh yeah. So excited. Now, real quick, I'm just going to hit my tostones with a little bit of salt. Nice, yeah, just a little bit of salt. Look how nice that looks. Oh yeah, I'm excited. Okay. So, our chicken should almost be done. Yes. So, Mr. Enrique, and again, guys, I am so sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I'm like reading this very quickly, so I apologize in advance if I'm saying your name wrong, but you guys are here for the cooking and the cleaning tips, and I'm so happy. So someone says, where can I find breadfruit? If you live in a Caribbean area, breadfruit is very common, so you can definitely find it at your local produce store. So I don't know if you guys heard that beep, but the Ninja Foodi is done. We're gonna open it. It looks so good. We're gonna go ahead, we're gonna take these out. Oh my gosh. So, so good. So, so, so good. Oh my goodness. 20 minutes and you have some awesome crispy fried Dominican style chicken. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness, so, so, so good. You guys see that? Mira eso, mira eso, mira eso, mira eso, mira que rico, mira que rico. Ah. If you guys can't tell, I love food and food gets me really, really excited. I'm just gonna move this out the way. And I'm just waiting on the other one to be done, which this one has like about a minute. Let me just get my plate ready. Guys, we are super, 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 super ready to eat. And once this one is done, I'm gonna get into, again, the nitty gritty as to which one we like. All right, so this one says off, but I'm curious, is it gonna make a beep? I feel like it should. Let's give it like 20 seconds. I'll wait. There we go. That's what I was waiting for. All right, will it stop? Yeah, there we go. So it beeps 3 times. Give that a shake. Oh yeah, look, nice and crispy too. I don't want, so the thing with this one is that obviously the basket comes out, so there's oil on the bottom of this, so I don't want to just like tilt it into onto my plate. Oh, this looks so, so, so good. So good. Now, as I mentioned before, I use chicken thighs for today's recipe, but you can 100% use some chicken breasts or even a mix. If you use a mix of chicken breasts and chicken thighs, then I just highly recommend that you roughly cut them the same size so that they cook evenly. All right, so you can't have some Dominican chicken without squeezing some lime over top. Here we go. Oh, yes. Yes, that is amazing. And obviously, we have to do the same thing to this batch of chicken. Stop flipping out. Here we go. Oh my goodness, so, so, so good. Nice. All right, so a couple of things. We have here 2 air fryer chickens. And we made this one in the Power XL, and we made this one in the Ninja Foodi, and they are the same exact recipe. So they're the same exact recipe. The only difference is that they were cooked using 2 different devices, but they were cooked using the same exact settings and for the same exact amount of time. And I've also dressed them exactly the same. So once they both came out, I actually drizzled some fresh lime over top both of them. So now I just want to real quickly look at the Power XL, which is this guy right here. And this one has a good amount of crispiness to it, as you can see here. So we have this guy right here, this one. You want some of that caramelization because that's going to give you some really, really good color. We're now going to go in. I'm going to take this piece. I'm actually going to taste it. Let's see what we're working with. It's hot. That's a good thing. It means it works. It means your food's gonna come out really nice and hot. And if you're like me, you gotta eat your food hot. I don't like cold food, even though I'm used to eating cold food, because here's the secret. When you film cooking videos, 9 times out of 10, you end up eating cold food because to make it all look nice and pretty, by the time you get to it, it's cold. All right, so now we're gonna look at the chicken that we made using the Ninja Foodi. And we're going to see, so as you see here, this one also is nice and crispy. Now, judging by this one and looking at the other one, it almost seems like this chicken got a little bit crispier than the other one. And honestly, I'm not surprised. Look at that. I don't know if you can hear that. Some nice crispiness. And like the other one, I also dressed it with some lime. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to taste a piece and see what we're working with here. It is crispier for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Oh, that is delicious. Okay. So, comment, let me know, which one do you think won the battle? Do you think it was the Power XL? Do you think it was the Ninja Foodi? I think, again, just looking at both of them, I feel like the Ninja Foodi actually gave us chicken that was slightly crispier, even though they both cooked for the same amount of time. Now, both of the machines have a couple of pros and cons, and I actually want to go into them a little bit more. So let's start off first with the Ninja Foodi. So when it comes to the Ninja Foodi typically retails for about $170. However, it's actually on sale at the time of this video. Was today, June 16th. It's actually on sale today at Target for roughly $100. And I've linked it down below in case you are interested. Now, like I mentioned before, when it comes to both of these chickens, I feel like the Ninja Foodi batch actually came out a little bit crispier. And I'm not surprised, because this machine, as you guys saw at the very beginning of this live stream, is actually a little bit more powerful than this one. Even though I set them both to 390 degrees for 22 minutes, 2 of those minutes was the air fryer actually warming up. Excuse me, I had to burp. Didn't want to do that on camera. So when it comes to some of the pros and cons of the Ninja Foodi, one of the pros of the Ninja Foodi is that it's actually more than an air fryer. One of the things that I seriously enjoy about this is that it does more than air fry, and it actually pressure cooks. And when space is a premium, I personally love for my small appliances to do more than one thing, because they are going to be taking up room. So if you're going to be taking up some room and some real estate in my kitchen, I need you to be multifunctional. Now, another pro about the Ninja Foodi is that it has higher heat settings. Now, one of the things that you may notice is that I set them both to 390 degrees. However, the Ninja Foodi can actually go up to 400 degrees. And if you have the grill air fryer version of the Ninja Foodi, it's the Ninja Foodi Grill. I also have that. I actually made my air fryer salmon video, and that actually goes up beyond 400 degrees because of the grill function. And when it comes to a higher heat setting, I definitely like that, because it means that it makes for more efficient cooking, and it also means for more faster cooking, and you tend to get a little bit more of that crispy element to it. Now, another big pro when it comes to the Ninja Foodi is that this thing is fairly quiet. You can barely hear this one. I don't know if you guys noticed when we had the Power XL, like once it was done, it was loud. It was like an alarm, which for some of you, that might actually be a huge pro, because if you're in another part of the house, trust me, you're gonna know when this thing is done. For me, I prefer a device that's a little bit more on the quiet side. But again, keep in mind that when it comes to these pros and cons, they can totally be like personal preference. Now, another huge pro when it comes to the Ninja Foodi versus the Power XL is that, again, in my opinion, I think that the Ninja Foodi actually has a better user interface, and it's a little bit easier to control, and it's a little bit more straightforward and easier to understand than the Power XL. Now, another huge pro when it comes to the Ninja Foodi pressure cooker and air fryer is that it is very easy to clean. So once this video is pretty much over with, I'm actually going to have the easiest time ever cleaning this device, and I'm also going to have an easy time cleaning this one, which is saying a whole lot, because right now I can't really be on my feet too much given my injury. So it's a huge plus to be able to be in and out, get dinner on the table, and not have to spend twice as long cleaning up the kitchen afterwards. Now for the cons, because as amazing as this device is, there are some things that are like and one of them is it's big and it's bulky and it takes up room. And my kitchen is not the biggest kitchen in the world. I value my countertop space. I actually really don't like having small appliances just live and take up real estate on my counter. And one of the biggest things with any air fryer that you're gonna have is that you have to find a home for it, which is why I also like to make sure that it does more than just air fry. Now, another con for this is that yes, it has higher heat setting, but more power means more electricity. And if you're not equipped to handle that, that can be a little bit of a con. So it is also something to kind of take into consideration. Even the plugs are a little bit different. The Ninja Foodi is a 3-prong plug, whereas this one is a 2-prong plug. And so, you know, if we're watching our pockets, we don't want to use too much electricity. If you live in a building, if you live in an older home, again, something to consider, because as you guys saw, I had them both on the same circuit and it blew. So keep in mind. Another con for this machine is that it's actually more expensive. And again, everyone's finances is different, and I'm just going to be real with you guys. This thing costs a pretty penny, and it's more expensive than this one, but you can also, I guess, justify that it's a little bit more expensive because it does more than air fry. And just another small little con is that this one you for sure need tongs, whereas this one had a basket which you can kind of just shake. So that's my pros and cons for the Ninja Foodi. Now, moving on over to the Power XL, one of the pros when it comes to the Power XL is it is actually affordable. It's actually on sale right now as we speak, June 16th. This thing is on sale at Target for about $70, and it normally retails for $150. So if you saw this video and you're like, you know what, I think I want to go the Power XL route, hey man, I have the link down below. So if you want to check it out, go ahead and do so. Now, one of the things that I actually like about the Power XL is that it has multiple settings for multiple different proteins. So you don't have to really think about it. Like, you're just like, you know what, I'm making chicken, click the chicken setting, da-da-da, and cool. I didn't do that for today's video because, again, I wanted the settings to match. And one of the things that I also find with their settings, specifically for the chicken, is that it's designed for bone-in chicken. We were making boneless chicken, and boneless chicken takes less time to cook than bone-in chicken. But again, I do like the fact that it has multiple settings for different types of proteins. Now, another thing that I also really do like is this handle that it has. I like the fact that it has a basket handle because I don't have to, like, search around for tongs in the kitchen. It has one attached, and as you guys saw when I had it, I was just giving it a quick shake, which is really good, even if you're making this Dominican style chicken that I made today, or if you're making French fries. And just like the Ninja Foodi, another pro to the Power XL is that it is also easy to clean, so you're not going to be fussing in the kitchen and then fussing even longer to clean up the machines. And now for the cons. Just like the Ninja Foodi, this guy is not perfect either. Ultimately, this thing is noisy. I don't like a lot of noise. But again, personal preference. If you're walking away and you're in another part of the house, this may actually be very beneficial to you because you can hear it wherever you are. So that's also pretty good. Now, a con is actually the user interface. Even though it has multiple settings for different types of protein, which I do like, overall, I'm not a huge fan of the interface. I don't think it's as easy as the Ninja Foodi when I'm comparing them side by side. And I find that it can be a little confusing. If you make a mistake and then you have to turn it off, it takes a while for it to turn off to then turn on and reset. And that can get annoying, at least for me. Another con is that it's big and it's bulky, just like the Ninja Foodi. So this thing is going to take up some real estate. And honestly, if you're in the market for an air fryer, that's the number one thing to consider is just make sure that you have a home for it, because I don't like clutter. And I'm sure you don't like clutter either. And I'm sure you don't like to feel uncomfortable in your kitchen with a whole bunch of different appliances just taking up room, taking up real estate. And so unfortunately, unless you're going to get one of those itty bitty mini air fryers that's like good enough to make food for just one person, both of these don't score high when it comes to the size factor. If there was a way to make this collapsible, that would be a dream, but then it probably wouldn't work because where are you going to house all the mechanicals? Now, last con when it comes to the Power XL is that the basket doesn't always click into place. And that drives me nuts. You guys saw that today in today's videos. Like, you put it in, you think it's in, it's not in. You just have to double check. It's a little bit different than just opening and closing a lid. This one is, it's just like the extra step. And sometimes if you're like me and you're manning the stove and you're manning this and you're talking to this person and talking to that person and you don't realize that the basket didn't click all the way into place, guess what? The heat is going to escape and it's not going to warm up the food efficiently. at the end of the day, if you're asking me, which one do I like? I do have to say that I hands down prefer the Ninja Foodi for all the reasons that I've listed in today's video. I just think it's a little bit more powerful, which I do like. I actually think they're both easy to clean. I actually think the Ninja Foodi is a little bit easier, and I ultimately like that this does more than air fry. I actually have a video here on my channel where I show you how to make air fryer masitas, and the way that I did that is that I pressure cooked the meat first for a couple of minutes and then I air fried it, and I love that I can do that just using one machine. And also too, like, just in today's video, like, I find that the chicken that I got with this was actually crispier. So the chicken that I got using the Ninja Foodi was actually a little bit crispier than the Power XL. And I'll give you guys a close-up so you can see side by side. See that? Now, ultimately, I will say that both of these air fryers work great. And honestly, there's a reason why these are my two most used air fryer, because despite the fact that I prefer the Ninja Foodi, the Power XL gets the job done. And sometimes I want French fries and I also want fried chicken, so I need two air fryers. Or sometimes I want my Brussels sprouts and sometimes I want my chicken. So again, ultimately, I don't think that you can go wrong with either of these. There are things to consider with both of them. As far as our air fryer pow, pow, pow battle, I'm going to have to go ahead and I'm going to have to give it to the Ninja Foodi. Comment down below and let me know which of the two you prefer, and also which one that you have that you really, really like. Now, unfortunately, I can't see the comments because technical difficulties all around. So I can't see it, so I do apologize. I'm actually going to real quickly. Rosa says, thank you so much for teaching me how to cook. I am delighted that you have bestowed me the honor to teach you how to cook, so thank you. Oh my goodness. Yes, I do enjoy cooking and baking. Tara says, looks like I'm getting the Ninja. Again, I think they're both great, but I do prefer the Ninja hands down. Oh my goodness. Nice. So yeah. Mukbang. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I would do a mukbang because between me and you, I hate eating on camera as I take a bite of this amazing chicken. So this is as much of a mukbang as I think I'm going to give you guys. Oh my God. You love the air fryer. Oh my goodness, I do too. Okay guys, so, oh, Erica says, how are the dogs? First of all, thank you so much for asking. My pups are really good. I actually bribed them with a bunch of treats, so they're in the room right now. That's why you can't hear them. Otherwise, they would be going absolutely insane with all this delicious food. They could smell this a mile away. As soon as I'm done with this video, I'm gonna let them out, and I'm sure they're gonna like just swallow me with kisses. And they've been super, super extra loving with my injury right now. And oh, I love them. Oh shoot, I forgot that I made tostones. So with that, I'm gonna have a bite of my tostones. Thank you guys so, so much for watching today's video. Please don't go too far at all, because I have an all new video coming out next week. And guess what? We're also going to be cooking live again next week. Curious to know what you guys would like to see me cook. Follow me on Instagram. Send me some messages. I'm looking for ideas on what to cook next. I hope that you guys enjoy these videos. I definitely enjoy having so much fun with you guys. Like always, don't forget to join the Chef Z family. Be on the lookout. There are so many delicious recipes here. Give this video a huge thumbs up for more air fryer recipes. And until next week, I'm Chef Z y buen provecho. Ah, so good. Which one? This one.